So just as he started, he ends. How humans fail in the presence of God. But there is an interesting point here that I want us to focus on today. Luke offers three accounts of the resurrection of Jesus. First, Jesus is not seen. In the second narrative, Jesus only appears to two disciples. And in the third narrative, Jesus meets his disciples. And Jesus greets them with some comforting words. For he says to them, "Peace be with you." In Hebrew it's called shalom. It means God's peace rests with you. He's saying to them that I want you to experience and to be assured of one thing, that God is with you. Now, this tells us that Jesus was also a member of the Church of St. Monica. Because if they had abandoned us and treated us the way they treated Jesus, we would have had some words for them. They would have had some words for them. But because he is from St. Monica, he says, peace. He didn't say, "Why did you abandon me?" He said, "Peace." He didn't say, "Why did you lie on me or deny me?" He said, "Peace." He didn't say, "You a bunch of..." He said, "Peace." He says to them, "The peace of God be with you." And friends, can I share with you this morning that peace is not only a state of mind, that peace is also a state of being. Peace is not only a state of mind, but peace is a state of being. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. puts it this way. He says, "Peace is not merely a distant goal we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal." For peace speaks of oneness within relationships. So shalom speaks of a oneness between man and God. Shalom also speaks of a oneness between man and man. You may ask me, why is this so notable? While this is a normal greeting, shalom that is, for the Jews, we realize that it does not take place in the other two encounters. Jesus does not greet the man on the road to Emmaus with shalom. Rather, he just begins conversation. When the angel greets the women at the tomb, there is no greeting of peace. And I wondered, well, how come the women were not greeted with peace, and how come the disciples are greeted with peace? Then it dawned on me, because the women never abandoned Jesus. It dawned on me that because women never denied Jesus. It dawned on me that because women followed him all the way to Calvary, that despite the soldiers, they were seen wiping the face of Jesus. That is, they were associating themselves with Jesus, knowing what could happen to them. The women were there at the foot of the cross, unlike all the disciples save John. The women were always at one with Christ and God himself. Their relationship with God was always intact. However, the disciples, on the other hand, abandoned and denied Jesus. They ran for their own lives, and they knew that their relationship with Jesus must have been broken. And so I'm sure their minds were flooded with various emotions, disappointments, guilt. And then they heard the fact that Jesus was no longer dead, but he was alive. That his words were true. This must mean that they must have felt an awesome sense of guilt now. This is not radical guilt. This is guilt upon guilt. And Jesus shows up. And he says to them, "Peace." In other words, he's saying to them, your relationship with God is all right. It's peace. Shalom. He says to them, and he pronounced over them, that your relationship with me is okay. Peace. Jesus is saying to them, I want you to know that I have forgiven you still, my friends. What a relief this must have been for those disciples. What comforting words it must have been for them. But I'm convinced today that Jesus not only offered this peace to the disciples, but for all of us. For he says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. He says to them, peace I leave with you. In other words, I'm not taking my peace back. I'm leaving my peace with my church. For he wanted his church to experience his peace, but not only his church. Jesus wanted the church to establish his peace throughout the world. As a matter of fact, the angels declared at the birth of Jesus, glory to God in the highest heaven, and peace on earth to all men. Luke 2:14. The Latin translation of the word peace, or peace of God, is pax tecum. And pax tecum means God's peace with your spirit. I wish that God's peace be with your spirit. Why? Because sometimes your spirit is troubled. Sometimes your spirit is not at rest. Jesus said to his disciples, let not your hearts be troubled. In the Greek translation really says, let not your spirits be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. He said to them, sometimes life situations will cause our spirit to want to be at trouble. And God desires for all of us to be at peace. And you know, whenever our spirit, there's a disconnect between us and God, there's always trouble. And sometimes this disconnect is caused because we're angry with God. Some people, friends, believe it or not, are angry with God because of what has happened in the vicissitudes of life. They're angry with God. And then a lady once told me that I ain't talking to your boss. I said, but darling, I have not seen you in church in a week. She said, yes, I said to you, I'm not talking to your boss. I said, but what did Brown do? She said, nothing, I ain't talking about that boss. I talking about the bigger boss. I said, the bishop? She said, no, I was afraid to ask her which boss you talking about. Then she said, I'm not talking to God. I said, you vexed with God? She said, yes. I said, we're not on good talking terms right now. And I have nothing good to say to him. And I said, well, why? She said, because he took my mommy and my daddy. Right now, I want nothing to do with him. And after sharing and comforting and counseling, she realized that all things work together good for those. And that some things will be beyond our control, but she must understand that God is still in control. And she received a peace. And she came to church. And she came to the communion rail. She knelt and she received Jesus in the body and blood. And she smiled. Sometimes, friends, we are troubled because we are angry with God. We must understand that the peace Jesus offers does not suggest a world absent of trouble. But the peace he offers means that either he will still calm you in the midst of this storm, or he will remove your storms. He'll either calm you in the midst of your storm, or he will remove your storms. Our hearts are not only troubled because we are angry with God. Sometimes we are angry with other people. And this hinders our peace. I am convinced that every time the world needs his peace, it is done. For we live in a world and in a time that has been torn so much by incident after incident. From a pilot who was not well, not really at peace with himself, deciding not only to take his life, but the lives of so many innocent passengers on that fatal flight. Remember how Christians who lost their lives in Kenya because they were guilty of being Christian. It's into this world that Jesus echoes and continues to echo the words, peace be with you. But friends, we cannot have peace without the Prince of Peace. What has recently happened in Grand Turk is a reminder that this need for peace is not only an international need, but here in our very own Turks and Caicos Islands, there is a need for peace. While we continue to grow economically, socially, we are hitting an all-time low. People are assassinated, violently murdered, and those who are left behind are told, at least you found the body so you have closure, now you must move on. Families must try to put together the pieces and have this peace. They are told sometimes, be thankful. But the Bible declares that justice and peace have kissed each other. Justice and peace have kissed each other, suggesting that there is an intimate relationship between justice and peace. So everybody crying out for peace, but no one's crying out for justice. And friends, it's when justice is executed, it's when justice is constantly executed that our systems build confidence, or people build confidence in our systems. It's because when the residents of the Turks and Caicos Islands realize that they are fairly handled, that they recognize that the systems of justice are replete for all people, no matter red, yellow, black, or white, rich or poor, Turks Islander or non-Turks Islander, that we begin to have this peace. When people realize that wrong will never be right, and will never be accepted, and nor will cover-ups, then the process of peace begins to prevail. It's when this system begins to turn and turn that we begin to build confidence and we are at peace. But friends, it's so sad to say to you today that the TCI we live in, we see wrong and we keep quiet. We see injustice and we say nothing. And some of us wonder why we can't sleep at night. Families are hurting and we keep quiet. How can we have this peace? And you know, it starts in the home. Telling your children to stand up for right. I asked the little boys in South Caicos the other day, I said, if you're playing basketball and the other team called your team member called a foul because he believed that someone touched you, but they didn't touch you, what would you do? He said, well, Father, my man called foul for me. I got to leave it alone. He called it. And I said, but you're condoning a lie. He said, well, I lie, he lied. And so I said to him, no, it don't work that way. You're a Christian. You ought to be able to say, no, he didn't touch me. But what will my friends think? That's all right. Your heart is clear. Don't worry about your friends. I stood for what is right. And friends, this is where God is calling us back to as a people. To get back to right being right and wrong being wrong. But we don't have to look at all these big national issues. Even right here in this church, there ain't peace. Some of us don't talk to each other. Don't like each other. And if it was another Anglican church, we'd have left you a long time and gone because we don't like so and so. We split services. We don't want to go to that service, but that person go to that service, so we go to a different service. So we wouldn't interact with that person. And then the kiss of peace becomes like a maze. You got to plan how you're going to maneuver. You sit there, you think, okay, if I go this way and she come this way and he come that way, I don't want to see him, so I got to go this way, and then I got to walk through here, so you. The Lord, they were confused. But saying that we just receive this peace from God. The peace that Jesus gives us, we must be able to pass on to others. act of penitence, we are one with God. Peace means, shalom means oneness. There's a oneness between us and God. And if there's a oneness between us and God, there must be a oneness between us and each other. Jesus says today to us, let it go. Let it go. Let not your hearts be troubled. Let it go, church. He invites you to enjoy this peace. Can I share with you today that God calls us to be peacemakers? We have any children of God here today? In church? Raise your hand high. Not to be guilty. My Bible, I know what your Bible says. But my Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they are called. So children of God are called, and peacemakers are called. So why are you causing confusion? Are we not supposed to be peacemakers? So when you see someone talking about someone, why are you adding to it? Why are you trying to ignite the fire? And some of us, we got to have a child, I hear, and we go on to say what we didn't hear, but we say we hear it. Just to cause confusion. But the Bible says we are peacemakers. And it says that you must seek peace and pursue it. You got to go after it. Peace sometimes, it's not the easiest thing. But you got to seek it. You got to go after peace. Because you are a child of the living God. And today, the last thing I will say to you before you leave to go to your respective homes is go in peace. To go in what? Peace. That's a command. When you leave here, go in peace and serve the Lord. And then you respond by saying, in the name of Christ, I go in peace. Amen. Means I agree with it, all of it. And so I will be a peacemaker this week. Now, search your own souls. Search your own hearts. Have you been peacemakers? Have you been peacemakers? Answer God. You who call yourself children of God, have you been peacemakers? Or have you been architects of destruction? Jesus says to his disciples, peace be with you. Before I take my seat, he also reminds us that this peace, that we must not only make peace with God and seek to make peace with our brothers and sisters, but we must make peace with ourselves. Sometimes we have not forgiven ourselves for what we have done. God has forgiven us, but we have not forgiven ourselves. And the devil will put things in your mind and say to you, but where do you think you're going? You forget what you used to be. Oh, where do you think, who you can pray for? Who you can sing for? Who up front of the praise and worship team you want to serve on the altar? You forget. And he humbles us. We say, well, I ain't step forward because of my past. But God is saying, your past is your past. Your best days are ahead. That's what God says. But the devil convinces us to hold on to the past. And the past, friends, is something we cannot change. So why are you holding on to it? Why are you allowing it to tear you to pieces? A psychiatrist once said that if I could convince the people in this institution that God has forgiven them of their sins, at least 80% of them could go home today.